The processing of autoclaved aerated concrete block panel could be divided into 6 sections: preparation and storage of raw materials, reinforcement and cage preparation, and relevant anti-corrosion treatment, dosing and pouring, assemble frame unit inserting, pre-curing and pins pulling, cutting and grouping, autoclaving, and finished product packing. Firstly, the front loader feeds sand, fly ash, and white waste into hoppers. Through the belt scale and belt conveyor, the materials will be conveyed to the wet-type ball mill for grinding. After grinding, by slurry pump, the slurry is sent to the mixing pool for stirring, then pumped into the slurry storage tanks. The lump quicklime is fed into the receiving hopper by front loader. The small piece lime, crushed by jaw crusher, is transported into its storage silo through bucket elevator. Then, the lime is sent to the dry-type ball mill for grinding through vibrating feeder. The powder lime conveys into lime powder storage silo through screw feeder and bucket elevator. The cement is delivered into cement silo for storage by bulk cement truck. The whole process is equipped with an excellent dust removal system in order to prevent from environment pollution. The reinforcement straightening cutting machine cuts the rolled wire to prepare the long and short reinforcement bar according to requirements. The cut reinforcement bar will be put onto welding stand for automatic mesh welding. Then, the spot welder makes welded meshes hanged on welding supporters into the cages. The crane lifts and moves the cages into the anti-corrosion liquid tank located on the top of pre-curing room for immersing into anti-corrosion liquid in order to assuring that all surfaces of cage could be covered by anti-corrosion liquid, and then the coated cage will be moved to drying box for drying. After drying, the frame, pins, and cage are assembled together. The assembled unit is delivered to assemble frame insert crane. The crane moves the unit to specified position for inserting into the mold. The slurry pump delivers fresh slurry to the scale for weighing. The screw feeders convey lime and cement to respective scale for weighing separately. The aluminum paste, mixing with water, is made to dispersion by aluminum mixer and measured by its scale. The dispersion liquid is delivered into batch mixer for high-speed mixing and stirring with other materials. The mixed and homogeneous slurry will be poured into empty mold through flapped discharging outlet. The whole casting process is controlled by computer automatically. As soon as the poured mold move to the position of assemble frame inserting, the assemble frame will be put into the mold by crane, and the ferry cart transfers mold to pre-curing room for curing. The ferry cart, positioned by automatic positioning mechanism, sends the mold to specified track. As soon as the cake in the mold reaches the hardened requirements after curing, the ferry cart will send it to the position of fixed pins pulling. By the crane, the pins will be pulled out integrally. Then it will be transferred to tilting crane by friction wheels. The tilting crane lifts mold box up automatically, tilting 90 degrees and putting it on the first cutting trolley of cutting line. The manipulator of crane hanger opens mold and demold automatically. After that, the empty detached mold body will be assembled with cleaned side plate that is available on side plate recycling roller track. Then the empty mold box will be sent back to its recycling track. After oiling, it will be ready for next pouring. The first cutting trolley carries the cake through profiling stage, trimming side surface, and cross-cutting as per set width stage. After cross-cutting stage, the trolley takes cake to vertical cutting frame. The hydraulic system jacks up the cake with the side plate together. The cutting wires that are pneumatically tensioned cut the cake vertically by flap motion. Meanwhile, the vacuum hood on the top of vertical cutting frame takes the waste layer on top of cake. The first trolley comes back to the start position for new cake. The second cutting trolley takes place of first one, transferring the cake to the transfer crane. The transfer crane brings the cut cake to the tilting table. At the same time, the cleaned cooking frame comes to the tilting table through its roller track. The tilting table tilts the cake by 90 degrees and put it horizontally onto the cooking frame. The waste layer at the bottom of cake remains on the side plate. Transferring through friction wheels, the loaded cooking frame comes to grouping crane and is lifted by grouping crane to autoclave trolley for pre-grouping. All cutoffs and waste remained on side plate are conveyed by pump to waste slurry storage tank for reusing in the process of fresh slurry making. The tractor pushes pre-grouped autoclave trolley onto the grouping ferry cart, and ferry cart transfers it to the specified tracks in front of autoclaves. The tractor of tracks takes charge of grouping of autoclave trolleys. After a complete train of trolleys with stacked cakes, blocks, and panels of one autoclave is grouped, the transfer cart in front of autoclave comes to the specified track positioning by positioner. Through tractors pushing and ferry cart, the grouped green blocks panels goes into autoclave automatically. Through 10 to 12 hours, high temperature, high pressure curing. The autoclaved cake will be sent to buffering tracks by ferry cart. And then conveyed by tractors and friction wheels. The white cakes come to the destacking crane. The crane lifts the cake with cooking frame together and moves to cooking frame recycling rollers track. And then lifts white cake up to tilting table. The tilting table tilts white cake by 90 degrees. After, it will be sent to separator by conveying line for separating layer by layer from top to bottom. The separated white cake is conveyed to finished product crane through conveying line. The hydraulic hanger of crane will lift finished product according to categorizing result, blocks, and panels. After categorization, the block products pushing, packing, and panels packing will be done on the conveying chains. Forklift moves packed products to the stockyard for storage. Meanwhile, the autoclave trolleys, moved by tractor, back to area in front of autoclaves for next grouping. The continuous working of AAC production line is realized through above-mentioned processes, replaning,